Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Thank you for joining me for today's Sick Mobility class. I am Coach Ray. So, for today's class, we are going to need 2 long sticks. So we're going to get into some rotational drills. So I have the squat rack behind me, and that's going to act as more like a door frame for us to do some rotational drills in. So we're going to do quite a bit of core work here today, okay? For the deep fascial stretching, we're going to get into the human sail. We're going to get into a little bit of the guitar hero. So you'll also need a pad for us to kneel on close by. And also, let's have some fun with it today, all right? So what we're going to do here first is we're going to get into the foot and ankle drills. So let's go ahead and grab one stick here, okay? So I'm going to have my feet roughly about shoulder width apart. Toes are going to be pointed forward, okay? So we're going to start off simple first. I want to have my hands stacked at sternum height, okay? And what I want to do here, I want to sink my hips down. I want to keep my pelvis stacked under my spine up tall, okay? I'm going to lightly drive the stick into the ground, about 20% tension, and I'm going to start by bringing my right heel up. I want to keep all 5 toes in contact with the floor the entire time. Then I'm going to drop that right heel down, and I'm going to bring that left heel up at the same time. Hover that right heel, okay? You're going to switch, bring that left heel down, right heel up. Good, try not to lean. Bring that left heel up, right heel down. Keep those heels hovering off the floor the entire time here. Left heel drops, right heel comes up. Good, left heel comes up, right heel drops. Just keep going. Right heel up, left heel drops. Okay, doing good. Left heel up, right heel drops. Let's go one more each time. Switch, right heel up. Good. And switch one last time. Left heel up. And excellent. Bring both heels down. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab a second stick. If you only have one stick, that's fine. You just want to make sure that the stick is on the side or closer to the foot where we're actually going to be doing the active lateral shifting here. Okay. So what I want to do is I kind of want to get into a little bit of a squat, and I want to utilize a little bit of tension here in the squat to add more load. So from here, grab the top of the sticks, get into a little bit of a squat here. So I'm going to hinge my hips back a bit, and I'm going to bring that left heel up, and I'm going to shift my heel out laterally. So I'm getting a little bit of a hang. Now I'm going to shift that heel inwards towards my midline, so I'm on my big toe. Then I'm going to shift out. Good, shift in. Shift out. Good, shift in. Shift out. And shift in. Back to center. And down. Okay, now we're going to switch sides. Bring that right heel up. Okay, all 5 toes in contact with the floor. Going to shift that heel in. Good, shift out. Shift in. Excellent, shift out. Good, shift in. Shift out. Last one, shift in. And shift out. Good, back to center and down. Excellent, good. Now we're gonna do, I'm gonna place one stick down, okay? And now we're gonna work on pelvic tilts here. So, again, I wanna make sure we're keeping the spine tall, controlling the pelvic movement here. So I'll go from the side. And so, let's go ahead and switch our hands from what it was when doing the ankle drills previously. So then on my left hand stacked up, I want the stick angled in towards me, right? The natural arm line. And what I'm gonna do from here, I'm first gonna drive the stick into the floor 30% with a good wide stance here, toes pointed forward, keeping everything up tall. Now what I'm gonna do a posterior tilt. So I'm going to tuck my pelvis in, squeeze my glutes, and I'm trying to drive my knees apart here, okay? Then I'm gonna do an anterior tilt, still driving the stick down, and I don't want the spine position to change here. I'm just moving the pelvis. Then I'm gonna do a posterior tilt again, drive those knees away from one another, squeeze those glutes. Then I'm gonna do an anterior tilt, still driving the stick into the floor, 30%. Posterior tilt, make sure those glutes are tight, active. Anterior tilt, good. Posterior tilt, and anterior tilt. Excellent. Come back to neutral. Now we're going to do lateral tilts here. So I'll face forward. So I'm going to bump one hip up, the other hip drops, okay? So it's bumped. So get back into that horse stance, stay up tall, pelvis under the spine. Do a minor posterior tilt, okay, just a little bit. And now I'm going to bump my hips up to the right. You should be feeling that right glute activate. Now I'm going to bump my hips up to the left. You should be feeling that left glute activate. So driving that stick down 30%, bump to the right, left, keep your feet active, right, and left, good, right, left, good, back to center, and relax. Awesome. So now we're going to do here, we're going to get into a wide stance here. We're going to do a little bit of lateral lunging, but what we're going to do is we're also going to add in a little bit of rotation here, okay? So I'm going to step back here, take a stance as wide as whatever's comfortable for you, all right? So you can have your feet angled out if you want to, okay? If that ends up being a little bit more comfortable for you. You do not have to have your feet facing forward. So I want to grab the stick, I want to place it across my sternum here, okay? I want to have my thumbs facing out away from one another. What I'm going to do here is we're going to sit into a lateral lunge here. So from this position, I'm going to lunge to my left. I'm going to drive my hips back, okay? Then I'm going to rotate the right end of the stick towards the floor, place it, and I'm going to pull apart, hold, ease off, come back to neutral, and then I'm going to come back up. I'm driving off that left leg. Now I'm going to go the opposite way. So I'm going to drive my hips back, lunging to my right, and I'm going to rotate that left end of the stick towards the floor, place it down, pull the stick apart, get that upper back active, ease off, come back to neutral, drive off that right leg. Let's go to the other side again. Lunge to the left, drive and push off that right leg, rotate that right end of the stick towards the floor, pull apart. You should get a little bit more rotation here. Ease off, back to neutral, drive up. Let's go to the other side again. Drive off that left leg, okay? Rotate that left end down, pull the stick apart. You're only pulling apart about 20%. It's not a hard pull. Good. Ease off, back to neutral, and come back up. We're going to switch the stick and place it behind our backs now. Okay? So how we're going to do from here, we're going to do a little bit of slap shot, but we're going to use it as flowing back and forth here. Okay? So go ahead and place your hands the same way. Your palms are facing towards the front of your body here. I'm going to hinge back first. Okay? Create that hinge. If you're tying a hamstring, just hang out here for about a second or two. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to place the right end of the stick towards the floor or across my midline if I can. Right? Now I'm going to pull apart here, 20-30% tension, not much. I'm going to lunge to my right, driving those hips back. Then I'm going to lunge to my left. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to rotate my right foot towards my left leg without moving my left foot out. Then I'm going to bring it back, Come back to center. Good. Rotate out. Now we're going to switch over to the left side here, okay? Rotate that left end of the stick towards the floor. Going to first lunge to my left. Get that rotation and stretch. Drive those hips back. Now I'm going to lunge to my right. Same thing, pivot that left foot. Try not to pivot that right foot out. Good. Plant that foot back down. Come back to center. Ease off that rotation. Come up and wiggle your feet in. Good. Okay. Now we're going to do here, we're going to get into a little bit of kayaking. Okay? So for this, we're just going to go with a square stance, but I really want to exaggerate that spinal movement here. So we're just kind of getting a little bit more movement in the spine, getting some rotation, some lateral flexion here. So I'm going to take the stick across my sternum again, okay? Again, hands reaching out as far as you can. If you need to adjust your hands, please do. And so what we're going to do from here, I'm going to take a horse stance, right? And from here, I'm going to start with my left hand up, and I'm going to drive that left hand through, and as I do, I'm going to laterally flex over, rotate towards my right, and as that right hand comes up, I'm going to do that same thing on the left side. I'm going to laterally flex, drive that right hand through, rotate to my left, and come back up and over. Same thing. Laterally flex, rotate to the right, come up and over. Good. Laterally flex, rotate to the left, come up and over. Good. Make sure you breathe here. Good. It's almost like you're trying to scoop up something behind you. Good. Excellent. Let's keep going. Let's go a couple more here. Make sure you breathe. Good. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent. So let's finish off with one more spinal rotation drill. So we're going to need 2 sticks for this one. Again, if you only have 1 stick, have it propped up against the wall or a door frame, whatever, something secure for you to lean the stick up against. And so the stick is going to be angled into the squat rack currently, okay? And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to place this other stick in the corner of a wall, okay? So I'm going to line up with the toes of my foot in line with the bottom of the stick in my right hand here, okay? Now I'm going to place my right hand at the top of the stick, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hinge back, but I want to pull that stick back behind me. I don't want it in an overhead position. So from here, I'm going to drive my hips back. I'm going to get a good hinge. The stick comes back. So you're going to notice there's going to be a little bit of rotation here, okay? Now what I'm going to do with this left stick, and you can always adjust it as needed, and I'm going to first drive that stick into the floor, create some tension, get a little bit more rotation, and now I'm going to push that left hand towards the wall. Going to get more rotation. Going to ease off. I'm going to come back up and take a second. We're going to do that one more time. Make sure you breathe in that position here, okay? So, right hand up top, okay? Going to drive my hips back, bring that stick back behind me, okay? Going to get a stretch in that chest, shoulder. Place my left hand on the stick, drive it into the floor, and then push that left hand out. Get that rotation. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. Ease off. Come back up. Excellent. Let's go ahead and switch. So I'm going to flip the sticks around. I'm going to do that same thing here. Okay. So, left foot is lined up with the toes. Just the left stick's lined up with the toes here, right? So from here, same thing. Gonna hinge back. That left stick comes back behind us a little bit. Okay. Right hand on the stick, drive it into the floor, and push towards the wall. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Good. Ease off. Gonna come back up slowly. Excellent. Let's go one more time. One more time. Okay. Left hand straight. Hinge back. Get that stretch. Good. Place the left hand on the stick. Or right hand on the stick, sorry. Drive that stick into the floor. And push towards the wall. Get that rotation. And 3, 2, 1. Slowly come out. Ease off. Excellent. Good. All right, so that concludes the warm-up. So now we're going to get into some rotation here, okay? So we are going to be working on pivoting that inside foot. So we're going to not only be in a staggered position or more like a lunge position, we're going to rotate and drop that inside hip into it as well, okay? So let's hope I stay in frame here. So from here, and I'll actually go a little bit more here. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm starting with the stick going towards my right side. I want the top of the stick to be angled, so I want a diagonal angle here, okay? My inside hand, which is my right hand, is going to be facing up towards the ceiling. My left hand is facing down towards the floor, so I'm in a switch grip here. I'm going to place my feet relatively wide apart here because I want room to actually rotate into it, okay? So first thing I'm going to do from here is I'm going to do a push-pull. So I'm going to push with the right hand, and I'm going to pull with the left. Let's go at 50%. Create some of that tension, create a flex in the stick. We're not rotating into it yet, but we're just getting those obliques and tissues warmed up. And ease off. Good. Now we're going to do that same thing. This time we're going to rotate that back foot or the inside foot into it as well. So our hips are going to rotate in. All right. So from here, okay, I'm going to be on the ball and toes of that back foot here now. All right. Let's go 60%. Push with that right hand, pull with that left. And now I'm going to rotate my right hip in towards my left hip. And I'm not moving my left foot. So it's almost like a swing, like you're chopping an axe. And 3, 2, 1, bring that hip back to neutral and slowly ease off. You're gonna feel that right oblique working pretty hard here. At least the posterior oblique. So let's go 70% this time. Get back set in that position. Right heel is up, ball and toes to the back foot, okay? So push and pull with that same 70%. So create that tension, create that bow in a stick. Good. Now rotate that right hip in, rotate your torso to the left. Keep pushing. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Good. Come back to neutral. Ease off. Excellent. Rotate that stick a bit so it's not all bowing in one direction. Let's go one more time. All right. So, same thing. Let's go 80%. Okay. Change your stance if you need to. Right. So, push, pull. Good. Rotate that right leg in towards the left. And 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Good. Now we're going to switch sides. So it's a good way to work on those spiral lines, work on those sling systems here. Okay. Okay, same thing. We're gonna use the first repetition as a way to warm up. Okay? And in terms of distance of the stick, I don't have the stick too far away from my body here. I actually want my arms bent so I can generate a little bit more tension. So, okay, stay in a staggered position, both feet flat. So let's start at 50%. My left hand is up towards the ceiling, right hand is down, and I'm gonna push with that left, pull with the right. Good, hold this position. Stay stable. 3, 2, 1, good, ease off. All right, so let's go 60%. We're gonna rotate that left leg in towards the right. So I'm on the ball and toes of that back foot here, okay? So 60%, push with the left, pull with the right. Now I'm gonna rotate that left hip in, with that left oblique working. 3, 2, 1, good. Return back to neutral. Ease off. Good. Rotate the stick a bit. We're gonna go 70% here. Okay? All right? So, get set in your position. Do a push-pull. Create that tension. Create that bow in the stick. Rotate that left hip in. 70%. Make sure you're breathing here. 3, 2, 1, good. Ease off and relax. One more time, we're gonna go 80%. Okay. Right. Get set in position. Create that tension, 80%. Good. Rotate that left hip in. Hold. 3, 2, 1, good. Ease off and relax. Awesome. So, now we're gonna do here, we're gonna get into some hip drills, right? So we're gonna do some hip abduction. We're also gonna be sliding that foot up the stick here, okay? So, I'm gonna take the stance with both feet together, okay? I'm gonna have both sticks angled out to 3 and 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna set them down. So the sticks are roughly about a foot from the outside of each one of my feet here, okay? So if you have a hard time generating tension, you can have your hands a little lower, but let's actually try to go with hands at shoulder height here, all right? I wanna keep both arms straight, okay, both legs straight. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna generate tension. I'm gonna drive both sticks into the floor. Gonna feel those lateral tissues turn on. Let's go at 50%. We're gonna start with that left leg first. So, keeping my right foot active, grabbing the ground with my toes, I'm gonna bring my outside of my left foot to the left stick, and I'm gonna push. I only have 50%, just trying to warm up some of those tissues here. We're not yet sliding that foot up the stick. Hold, we should be driving at 50%. And ease off, come back in, ease off that tension of driving the sticks into the floor here, okay? Now we're gonna switch over to the right side. It's gonna warm up both hips here. So, same thing, drive both sticks down, 50%. I'm gonna take that outside of my right foot, bring it to the right stick and push. Again, 50%. You should be feeling those lateral hip tissues and glute activate here. Make sure you're grabbing the ground with that left foot here. Hold. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in. Excellent. Ease off. Now we're going to focus on the left leg first. Going to bring that left stick a couple inches out, a little further, right, to challenge that hip more. Same thing. Drive both sticks down. Okay, grab the ground with that right foot, stay active, bring the outside of that left foot into the stick and push with 60% tension. Push. Try not to lean over, try to stay as stable and as neutral as possible. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in and ease off. Good. Okay. Let's bring that left stick out a couple more inches. Make it a little bit more challenging here. Okay. Same thing. Drive both sticks down. Okay. 60%. Bring that left foot to the left stick. Push. 60%. Now what I want to do, keeping my knee facing outwards, externally rotating my hip, I want to slide that foot up the stick. Hold, still pushing against the stick. 3, 2, 1, slide it back down. Bring it back in and ease off. Excellent. Let's return that left stick back to the original spot. Okay? You're going to feel that opposite leg working here, that glute. In my case, my quads feel like they're going to cramp on the opposite leg. That's a hard pushing. So, same thing. Okay? It's going to bring the right stick out a couple inches, not much. Right? Drive both sticks down. 60%. Bring it outside of that right foot to the right stick and push. Should be at 60% tension here. Grab the ground with that left foot. Don't let it get lazy. Good. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in and ease off. Excellent. Move that right stick out a couple more inches if you can. Okay. Create that challenge. All right. Same thing. Drop both sticks down. 60%. Take that right foot. Bring it to the right stick. Push. We're going to do that same thing now. Slide that right leg up. Keeping that knee out. Should be externally rotating that hip. Push against the stick. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back down. Still pushing. Back in. And ease off. Excellent. Good. Now we're going to do here, we're going to get into a single leg RDL. So this one you can do with one stick, and actually I prefer that we go with one stick for this one here. So we're going to have the stick in the hand that's opposite of the leg that's going to be staying in contact with the floor here. Okay? So I'm going to start with my right leg, because my right leg is actually the weakest. So I'm going to start with my right foot, okay? And I'm going to place the stick roughly about a foot, 2 feet from the line of my toes here. Okay, I'm going to go to side profile for this one. So what I want to do here is I'm going to drive that stick down first into the floor, 50%. Just want to get a little bit of tension. My hand is roughly about belly button height, okay? And so what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to lift that left leg off the floor. That right foot, again, should still be active here. All these drills, your feet are active. I'm going to drive my left leg back. Okay? Right. I'm going to drive that heel back behind you. Try to stay as balanced as you can. Lift that left stick. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Place the stick back down. Come up. Squeeze that right glute. And I want you to kind of lean back a little bit. We're going to go into it again. Drive that left heel back. Good. Lift the left stick. 3, 2, 1. Place the stick back down. Come up. Lean back. Squeeze that right glute. Make sure that right glute is firing here. One more time. Drive that left heel back. Get into that hinge. Lift the stick. And 3, 2, 1. Place it down. Come back up. Lean back. Squeeze that right glute. Drive that right hip forward. And ease off. Good. Okay. We're going to do it on the opposite side now. Okay? So my suggestion with these, it's always good to start on the weakest side first, okay? So, same thing, get a little more in the camera here. All right, so, same setup. I'm gonna have my right stick in my right hand. I'm gonna drive that stick down. Again, 50% tension. We're keeping that tension the entire time. Active left foot. Hover that right leg off the floor, okay? Let's go ahead and drive that right heel back. Drive that right hand out. Should be also squeezing that right glute. Lift the stick off the floor. 3, 2, 1. Good. Place it back down. Stand up. Squeeze that left glute. Lean back a bit. Good. Hinge. Drive that right foot back. Good. Lift the stick. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Place the stick back down. Stand back up. Squeeze that left glute. Lean back a bit. Excellent. Hinge one more time. Drive that right foot back. Lift the right stick. 3, 2, 1. Place it back down. Stand back up. Squeeze that left glute. Drive that hip forward. Lean back. And ease off. Excellent. Good. All right, and that concludes the strength training portion. So now we're going to get into that deep fascial stretching. The first thing we're going to start off with is we're going to start off with the Guitar Hero. So if you have a powder pillow next to you, this would be a good time to bring that out. So here's my trusty pad. So I'm going to place the pad down. I'm going to start on with my right knee down here, okay? So the stick is going to be angled behind me. Now, how far? It really, honestly, truly depends, okay? So I'm gonna first start by going anterior. So I'm going forward here, and then after that, we're gonna switch to going more lateral, opening up that short adductor, that groin area here, okay? So I'm angled out here, okay, so you get a good view. This back glute needs to be tight as we get into the stretch here, okay? The top of my back foot is into the floor. I'm gonna first generate tension into that foot. My right hand is right by my right hip. I'm gonna reach out and grab the end of the stick with my left hand here, okay? You can adjust your foot however you want. If you bring your foot forward more, you get a deeper stretch. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna drive my hips forward, squeezing that right glute, and then I'm gonna drive that right hand down towards the floor. And I wanna make sure I'm keeping that glute tight. You're gonna feel a stretch in the hip flexor complex, right? The anterior tissues of the hip, you might get a quad stretch too, right? So you're gonna hold, breathe, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna slowly come out. Excellent. And now what I'll do, I'll actually face forward here so you can get a little bit of a better view coming from the front. So I'm gonna have my left leg out to my side here. I wanna keep my torso facing forward. So bottom of the stick is parallel with this left leg, okay? So what I wanna do here, I'm gonna be shifting to my left. I'm trying to shift into this left leg. And again, adjust that foot however you need to. This knee needs to stay out. Left hand is gonna be at the end of the stick here. I'm gonna have my right hand, again, right by my right hip, and I'm going to keep that back foot driving into the floor, squeeze that glute a bit, and now I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna shift my weight to my left, and then I'm gonna drive the right hand down, and I'm gonna pull up with that left. Should be feeling that short adductor, that groin area, get a little bit of a stretch here. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Good. Ease off. Let's go into that one more time, okay? Everybody's adductors, even mine, tend to get a little tight here, so I'll spend a little extra time. All right. Same thing, shift into that left leg, keep that knee in line with the toes, and drive that right hand down towards the floor, pull up with the left. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, good. Come up, ease off, excellent. Let's go and switch sides here. All right. So, same thing. I'm gonna have that stick behind, right, parallel to that front leg here. I'm gonna have my right hand at the end of the stick, left hand's gonna be by my left hip, okay? I'm gonna drive that left hand down, squeeze that left glute, then I'm gonna drive my hips forward. Really try to focus on opening up those hips. Make sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath, please. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Good. Slowly come out. Let's go lateral here. Okay. Scoot this over a smidge. Okay. Same thing. Stick is parallel to that right leg here. Okay. Right hand on the stick. Left hand is right by my left hip. Okay. I'm going to first drive into that right leg here. I'm going to push down with that left arm. Pull up with the right hand. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Good. Ease off. Excellent. Let's go one more time. Try to sink a little deeper into it. Okay. Right. So, sink into that right leg here. Drive down with the left hand, pull up with the right. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Slowly ease off. Excellent. All right. Now we're going to get into the human sail. So we're going to need 2 sticks for this one here. Okay, so move this pad to the side. It is no longer necessary. All right. So I'll go a little bit from, again, a side profile here. I'm going to take a wide stance, not too wide. I prefer to go a little wider than the shoulder width here. Okay, this is effectively going to be a back bend. I'm going to have both sticks on the inside of both feet here, so right by the balls of my feet, okay? I'm going to grip the stick roughly about nose to chin height, okay, so around that area. And so from here, I'm going to drive both sticks down lightly, 20%, okay? And I'm going to bring those sticks behind me and I'm going to bend backwards, but that bend backwards is going by driving the glutes forward and squeezing those glutes here, okay? So 20% tension on the sticks, okay? Keep the arms straight, squeeze those glutes, drive those hips forward, reach back with both hands. Breathe. Good. 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back up, ease out of it. And now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to drive my hips back behind me, bring both hands forward. This allows me to lengthen that spine a bit, okay? Make sure you breathe here. Good. I'm going to come back up, bring the sticks out, squeeze those glutes, drive those hands back, drive those hips forward. Squeeze those glutes. Do not let them get loose here. Protect your hips and pelvis and your back. Breathe. Slowly come out. Drive those hips back. Reach those hands forward. Get that stretch in that T-spine. Let that spine elongate. Breathe. Let's go one more time. Okay? Bring those hands out, back, squeeze those glutes, drive those hips forward. Make sure you breathe. Good. Slowly come back. Drive those hands forward. Get that stretch in that T-spine here. And 3, 2, 1, good. Come back up. Excellent. So, let's finish off with a little bit of bow and arrow here, okay? But we are going to get into a lunging bow and arrow. So, balance is going to be a little tricky, right? We haven't done this in a little while. So, what we're going to do here is I'm going to actually have my left leg forward first. So, we're going to be rotating our spine towards that front leg here. So if my left leg is forward, I'm rotating my spine to the left. So I'm going to take a pretty big split here, okay? I'm going to ball in toes of that back foot here because I want to drive that right hip down towards the floor, squeezing that right glute, open up that hip flexor. I'm going to have the bottom of the stick about 10 to 12 inches in front of the line of my toes here. Okay, my left hand comes up over the top, thumb facing down towards the floor. Okay, my right hand is going to be wherever's most comfortable. I say typically right where the sticker is a good marker. Now what I'm going to do from here, you can adjust your position. I'm going to create a big split, and what I want to do is I want to try to focus on splitting the hips. So I'm going to drive my left knee forward, drive my right foot back, my heel back, squeeze that right glute. And then from here, I'm going to drive that right hand out. I'm going to squeeze that right glute, get some rotation here. Good, 3, 2, 1, slowly come out. Excellent, rotate the stick a bit. Again, so it's not bowing all in one direction. Same thing, right hand's on the stick. Try to split those hips, so sink into those hips here. Make sure that right glute's tight. And I'm going to drive that right hand out, pushing that right shoulder through. It should be a straight, direct line, right, from your spine all the way to your leg here. 3, 2, 1, slowly come out. Let's go one more time here, okay? Rotate that stick a bit again, okay? Right hand's on the stick, split those hips, squeeze that right glute, drive that right hand out, hold, 3, 2, 1, slowly come out. Excellent, switch sides, okay? All right, right leg is forward. Left leg's back, ball and toes to that back foot here, okay? Stick is, again, 10 to 12 inches in front of the line of the toes. Also, I didn't mention this before, I should have, the stick should be in line with that back hip here. So my left hip, right in front of my left hip. So, take my right hand, place it up over the top, thumb face down towards the floor, grab the stick where the sticker is. Okay, focus on splitting those hips, squeezing that left glute. And then I'm going to drive that left hand out. Hold. 3, 2, 1, slowly come out. Excellent, rotate the stick a bit. Got 2 more here, okay? Split those hips. Drive that glute. Extend that left hand out. Hold. Make sure you breathe. 3, 2, 1. Slowly come out. Excellent. Let's go one more time here. Okay. Split those hips. Squeeze that left glute. Drive that back leg. Drive that left hand through. 3, 2, 1. Slowly come out. Excellent. And that concludes today's stick mobility class. Thank you everybody for joining in. I hope everybody had a really good class today. Make sure you stay safe out there and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Catch you guys on the next one.